Hey YouTube, it's Larry with Civilian Tactical Unit, and I figured I would do a quick review more along the lines of not necessarily my reloading press, which happens to be the Hornady lock and load auto progressive, but in regards to Hornady's customer service. See, I've had this press for every bit of 10 years. I think I bought it actually in late 2008, early 2009. So I've had it for 10 years. And they've made some changes to the newer models, which one of the changes, which I've already had gotten from Hornady, was their, let's see if I can pull this piece off of here. This is the lock and load. This is what the old system looked like for the primer slide, the cam unit on it, and this one got to the point where, because of the debris and all that getting down in the primer seating punch area, I ended up bending, and they, free of charge, sent me the new Breakaway Cam, which is basically this same thing, except for instead of being threaded and locked in place with with a couple of nuts on there, it actually is just a rod that it has a rounded off end on it, to where it'll actually pop loose and out of place if you run into that problem. And of course, it's no surprise that, I shoot Hornady bullets. I also turn around and own pretty much every piece of Hornady equipment you can get your hands on. I love their products. They also happen to be, from Grand Island, Nebraska, which I happen to be from Omaha, Nebraska. So, I'm kind of keeping it within the state. But one of the big issues that I ran into with mine is the primer slide here. This is, I believe, my small primer slide actually broke. This is where the little wheel that rolls up and down on the wire cam is supposed to be, and it's missing. You can also see where this has taken a lot of abuse, and this isn't as bad as my large. My large primer one slide at the front edge of the hole almost has an entire gap cut in it. The big issue that caused this, if you look at these old primer punches, they have that little notch underneath of them that would actually let debris and all that get down in there and kind of gum up the works. You're always fiddling with getting primers to slide forward, or getting the primer punch to slide back, getting the seating stem to retract back down into the body and all that, which this one even broke the springs off of it. I've bought these in the past just to have replacements, and now I don't have that issue. I've been waiting to be able to reload for a while now, and I contacted Hornady a couple weeks ago. Haven't gotten any reloading done. Been worrying more about getting cases prepped and everything, but they were nice enough to send me the updated model of these, which I have sitting in a box right here. Pull these out. So I got new primer cedar punch assembly in both large and small. That's small, obviously, and this one's large. They also sent me 2 brand new slides. Everything covered under warranty. And yes, I have had my press for 10 years, and they still honor broken parts and everything on the warranty on it, which, you know, how many companies out there do that? I'm trying to open this one-handed. I need to buy me a camera, and then that way I won't have to use my cell phone. But there, got it out of there. So these new ones, see if I can do this and get it to focus in. Nope. Yeah, we'll do it this way. They are a solid shaft. There's no groove, so debris can't get in there. I mean, this is going to save a lot of wear and tear on parts for my older system, let alone the new one. And yes, I know there's many people out there that they're all about their RCBS rock crushers or their Lyman equipment or their Dillons and all that, but you know, I'm not going to complain about Hornady one bit, just because their customer service is so outstanding that, you know, they would go and send me the parts I needed for free and basically keep my setup running. Not to mention the fact that a buddy of mine, he's all about Dillon and their 650B and all that, and well, until Hornady came along and created their cam lock, their lock and load, you know, cam lock system for being able to convert other presses, you always have to screw your dies in and set them up every time you want to reload. In case of the Hornady lock and load system, which I got my 7mm bullet seating die in there, you buy these cams or the bushings or whatever and screw them. Once you lock them in, you get your dies all set up, and all you gotta do, twist and pull it out and move on to the next one. I mean, it loads so much faster. I've seen where people have actually bought the conversion system for their setup, and the one thing I don't like about it is those do lock in pretty tight, but if you're doing a lot of resizing, the one for the resizing die does loosen up and twist to where it will pop up out of there. I generally, depending on what caliber it is, whether it's 223, 7mm rim mag, you know, if I'm doing handgun, you know, like 9mm and 45s, you know, your handgun calibers, it doesn't do it as often, if at all. But when you're doing your rifle rounds, you will have it to where it'll loosen up somewhere between, for me, it's usually somewhere around about 50 rounds. Sometimes I can go further than that, and I got to twist it back, you know, locked shut. I've seen where people have went and bought larger O-rings, so then that way it fits tighter. I haven't tried that yet. Might be a good idea to, you know, try that and see if I can remedy that issue, but it doesn't really bother me. because I'll turn around and sit and I'll run all my cases just resizing and knocking primers out, and not do it as a complete system, because of the fact that I buy a lot of once fired brass, or my own, or even rounds that I've already, had myself and shot and everything. I keep all the brass, so it's like I gotta clean them. I may have to trim them. If that's the case, I'm gonna knock primers out before I turn around and trim them, so then that way I can turn around and get a proper trim length on them, rather than trim them and then resize them, because you are going to stretch the case a little. But I just wanted to go over the fact that a lot of people want to badmouth Hornady and don't like their products or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to find a better customer service out there than Hornady's customer service when it comes down to keeping their clients happy. So, if they want to keep sending me stuff that I need, free of charge. I didn't have to send any pictures. I just called and told them, this is what happened. I've got the older, the older version, and I heard you guys switch to a new version, and they turned around and sent me everything I needed. So I'm not going to complain one bit. And I'm not trying to turn anybody into, buying Hornady equipment, but I'm just kind of, telling you guys how it is when it comes down to Hornady and how they treat their customers and everything. I mean, I'm actually going to be buying their neck turning tool, even though they don't get real good reviews on it. They didn't get good reviews on their cam lock trimmer either at the time that I bought it, and I love it. It's easy to set up, it's well made, and they do make quality products. Just like with anywhere else, you're going to run into issues with companies having a bad model, or even just a bad like one product makes it, one piece makes it through. I won't say product, because product would cover the entire, thing, like the cam lock trimmer or their concentricity or their auto progressive press. You can have one make it through that is substandard to their quality expectations, but everybody's human. You can't catch everything. So as long as they're going to turn around and keep treating me right and treating all their other customers right, I'm going to keep buying their products, even if people want to keep giving them bad reviews, because I either figure out the good and the bad, and figure out how to make the bad better, and I keep going with them. So I just wanted to let you guys know about their customer service, and maybe a few of you out there might turn around and actually like their products like I do, and know that you've got good customer service backing their products, to where if something breaks, they're gonna treat you right, and they're gonna get you a replacement and all that. So you guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.